Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Nacho Problems, where we turn ordinary recipes into extraordinary nachos. I'm Nacho Queen, but you can call me M. I was shocked recently to discover I actually had some viewers from Italy. So I felt we should really do another Italian dish, and what better choice than Tiramisu Nachos. For anyone not familiar with tiramisu, it's a layered Italian dessert made from small cookies that have been dipped in coffee, a creamy custard of eggs and mascarpone cheese, topped with a dusting of cocoa. It happens to be one of Cameraman's favorite desserts, so you can guess who's going to be our taste tester today. Let's get started. Step 1, the chips. For our chips, we'll be making Ladyfingers, which are small, spongy cookies that are usually piped into long, thin shapes that resemble, you guessed it, fingers. Now I found that this didn't make nearly enough compared to the amount of cheese we had, so you might want to either double this recipe or half that one. But I used 3 egg whites, 2 egg yolks, save the extra yolk for the cheese, a 1/3 cup of sugar, half a teaspoon vanilla, a 1/4 teaspoon salt, and 1/3 cup of flour, sifted. We're going to start by beating our egg whites to soft peaks, so this is a job for Stevie Mix. I've separated my eggs and I'm going to whip the whites on high speed. So for soft peaks, what you're looking for is that when you pull the beater up, it makes a point that then falls over, but still holds its shape. Just like that. Now in a separate bowl, we need to combine the yolks, sugar, salt, and vanilla, and beat them until thick and pale yellow. Since I've only got one bowl for Stevie, we'll let Sir Mix-a-Lot do this bit. Now we need to fold in the egg whites. You want to do this slowly and carefully, or you'll lose all that air that you just beat into them. Okay, so if you're wondering what was with the camera, it turns out that bowl is highly reflective, and I'm just not ready to share the cameraman's stunning good looks with the rest of the world. Once it looks like the egg whites have been fully combined, we need to add the flour. So we'll sift and gently fold it in. I found this step odd. To me, it would have made more sense to add the flour to the yolks and then fold in the whites, since the more you fold the whites, the more air you lose. I'm going to experiment with some other recipes, and if I find a better one, I'll put a pinned comment below. But these turned out okay for our purposes. Once combined, we're going to spoon that into a piping bag. Now, we wanted something more chip-shaped than finger-shaped, so instead of long, thin lines, I'm going to try for circles. They're not the neatest, but they'll do. We're going to bake these at 350 for 12 to 15 minutes, or until golden brown. See, those look better than I expected. Let's move on to Step 2, the cheese. We'll be using the custard as our cheese, and for that we need 6 egg yolks, use the leftover one from the chips, 3/4 cup sugar, 2/3 cup of milk, 1 pound of mascarpone cheese, and about 1/4 to 1/2 cups of strong coffee. I used a double shot of espresso. We'll start by mixing the sugar and egg yolks together in a medium sauce pot. Now add in the milk and cook all of that over medium heat, stirring constantly until it comes to a boil. Cook 1 minute and then remove from the heat. Allow to cool slightly and then place it in the refrigerator to chill for at least 1 hour. Once chilled, we need to mix in the mascarpone. Just combine them both in a bowl and whisk until smooth. Now typically for tiramisu, you would dip the ladyfingers in the coffee, but that would make them soggy and we want them to stay crisp. So instead, we're going to use the coffee to thin out our custard for a nice drizzly consistency. I did reserve some of the custard to be used as is, since neither Youngson nor Jimmy Buffett like coffee. How are we even related? Just add the coffee into your custard and mix well. I think that's perfect. I'm going to put this back in the fridge until we're ready to use it. And we can move on to Step 3, the toppings. Now tiramisu is usually dusted with cocoa powder, but I like the idea of some chocolate shavings better. So all we need for that is some good dark chocolate. I also wanted to make some whipped cream, since some places I've been to do a layer of that in addition to the custard. For that we need about 2 cups of heavy whipping cream, some powdered sugar, I used 2 tablespoons, and about half a teaspoon vanilla. You can also add in some liqueur, but this is optional. Once you realize how easy it is to make homemade whipped cream, I hope you never buy that faked whipped stuff again. I've chilled my bowl in the freezer for about 5 minutes before starting, which helps the cream to set up. Now, just add the whipping cream to the bowl and start beating it on high speed for 3 to 5 minutes until it starts to thicken. Then add in the sugar and mix for another few seconds before adding in the vanilla. Continue beating until you have a stiff consistency. Now, I'm going to add the liqueur to just a bit of the whipped cream, since only 2 out of 5 nacho lovers wanted it that way. We're just going to pour about a tablespoon into this bowl and mix it in. Perfect! Now it's time for step 4. Let's eat! Okay, let's get a plate going here. First, some chips. I don't think these turned out very well for Ladyfingers, but for chips they're perfect. Next up, our cheese, which actually has cheese in it for once. Finally, a few dollops of our whipped cream and some chocolate shavings on top. Okay, well, Cameraman has been waiting all day for this, so we better hurry up and let him try it. Guys, I kid you not, his exact words were, "I'd like to be alone with my plate, please." So I guess another happy customer. The chips didn't last the day, and Olsen and Youngson started putting the cheese on Keebler cookies they found in the pantry. If you're like Youngson and Jimmy Buffett and don't like coffee, admit that, and then serve with fresh berries instead. Well, that's all for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, give it a like, and please consider subscribing if you want to see more nacho videos. If you have an idea for a future video, you can leave a comment below, or better yet, tag me on Twitter. I'm at NachoProblemsYT. And if you're looking to steal my apron, well, that's nacho merch, but you can get your own at a link in the description. Now, the good-looking new pool boy, Cameraman, is hard at work, and I think he might need supervising. But he is most certainly Nacho Problem. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.